should the believers know what's going on in the world? Verses first. A prudent man sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Okay, got a couple more. My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. Okay, just one more. Now, brothers, about times and dates, we do not need to write you, for you know very well that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying, peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly, as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. But you, brothers, are not in darkness, so that this day should surprise you like a thief. So what do we get from these verses? Without quibbling about, oh, that's not talking about that. That's talking about when Jesus comes. Well, it's talking about a sudden destruction happening. Do you think that we're supposed to know when Jesus comes back, but not supposed to know when there's a flood coming? Did no one know? We're supposed to know what's going on. We're supposed to know what's going on in the world. We're destroyed from lack of knowledge, right? The prudent, they see evil coming and they hide themselves, right? And the simple pass on and are punished. What that brings me to is I heard a guy, and he was talking about Iran in America. And he made the comparison like, oh yeah, we should just be able to steamroll them real easy. But then Russia should have been able to steamroll Ukraine. And that didn't happen. And he was like befuddled. He didn't understand. He didn't understand why that was. So let me tell you, America's done. We're finished. We're a declining empire, and it's over for us. That's it. Finito. What Russia was doing, because they know the plan, the globalist plan, was to move into Ukraine and then use that as a proxy to move into Russia and then on to China. Like, it's in their papers that they brag about for years, decades in the making, and they're not secretive about it. So Russia, being a long game player, Putin's been in power for decades. That's kind of an advantage for those countries, because here we got 4 years of having everybody flood into the country and all the LGBTQIS and the diversity and all that. And then, now the next 4 years, we're getting rid of all that, and we're getting jerked back and forth. Well, those countries don't have those problems. We do. And the reason Russia is taking their sweet time in Ukraine is because they know they're next. They know they're scheduled for the next conflict, right? So what they're doing, instead of steamrolling Ukraine, like they very well could have if they wanted to, they decided to let NATO deplete all their weapons, and then we won't have to worry about it. We'll just use up all America's weapons, and that's where we're at now. We're pulling weapons from Ukraine to give to Israel. We're taking weapons from Japan. The Asian theater, our bases, we're getting the weapons and the missiles from there. Oh, we need a ceasefire. Why? Because we're out of arms. The way we manufacture those missiles is by hand as part of the industrial complex money-making scheme. You know what China does? They automate. They have factories that run themselves, that make drones. You think we can go up against that? Against a country that can outproduce the whole world? Do you know how we won the Second World War? With our cheap, shitty tanks? Because we outproduced the good stuff. We flooded them with more. You think that would be hard for China to do? For some submarine or drone mothership to just release 10,000 explosive drones? If they wanted to, they could come and take this country. And no one in this country even likes this country anymore. Everybody in America hates America. We have the patriots with good values, and they've seen it just be eroded away to nothing. You can't even have a family. You can't even have a family. And then we have it's just all evil, and it's just oppressive, and blah, 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 and it's against women, and and they're the fascist. Everybody hates them. Would you go fight? What would you do if they told you, hey, we need to go fight? But you mean for you, the people that made it so I can't have a wife of my own and kids that belong to me? That's you want me to go and fight for you? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And you need to know what time it is. This is what time it is. We're done. This country is done. It's over. China is the rising power. The declining empire always picks a fight with the ascending empire. And then they get put in the dust. So don't be unaware. Don't be unaware, and don't be like that guy who's like, Russia should have just been able to steamroll them. Yeah, they should have, and they could have. But they're running NATO out of all their weapons because they know their homeland would be next. And it's working. And we need a ceasefire so we can move missiles from the Asian theater over to the Middle East. We got nothing. We got nothing. What are we going to do in there? What do you think we're going to do to Iran? What could we do? They have missile cities built into mountains, right? It's just for decades they've been building their military specifically to combat the American military doctrine. What are we going to do against that? And then now we got Russia and China. We're cooked. We're cooked, yo. Get in the book, do some praying. That's what time it is.